Well, clearly we were disappointed in the way we performed last Saturday. I think both coaching and playing on the field. Not to take anything away from Duke, I thought they played extremely well, but our performance left a little to be desired. So the great news is we've got a chance to play again this week against a very formidable opponent. I think the University of Georgia probably, if they're not the best team they've had since I've been here in my 10 years, it's probably one of the two best teams for sure. So be a huge challenge for us to see if we can't clean up our mess from a week ago and to play an opponent that's very, very talented and playing very well right now.
Okay. Coach Johnson.
I was listening to your post-practice comments yesterday, and in your review of Georgia, it struck me that the first player you're talking about is the quarterback Fromm. When I guess the tailbacks jump out to a lot of people first. What jumps out to you about Fromm that impressed you so much?
Well, I think the thing that's most impressive is what a little bit I've been able to follow with them. You know, everybody talks about that guy's the guy who struggles and he's the weak link. And when I watch the tape, I see anything but. I mean, I think the guy's really accurate. I think he runs their system well. Now, he's blessed that he's surrounded by a bunch of really good players, but he carries his own weight. I mean, he performs at a high level, I think.
With this team, would it be fair to say this one's been a little harder for you to figure out than other teams?
Yeah, this has been a screwy season. I mean, right from the start, just the way that unfolded, the way the first game unfolded, and then we had the cancellation, and then I mean, I don't think we ever really got going or got much momentum. I think, you know, well, our 15 season where everybody was hurt, I don't know that we won a road game, but in my career, 21 years, I've never had a season other than that where you didn't win a road game. And in fact, a year ago, we finished up the year winning at Virginia Tech, at Georgia, a bunch of hard places to play. But we did not play very well on the road this year. When you think about it, we gave up a ton of points on the road.
I guess kind of to that end, obviously I know every year there's one team that's happy at the end of the season, but I would think also, like, you know, different years you feel like, you know, we got more out of this team than others. What's your sense?
This year, I'm disappointed with our results. I mean, I think that we had a chance to have a really special year, and we had a chance to be okay. And, you know, we've put ourselves in a little bit of a hole. You know, if we could find a way to win the game on Saturday and maybe go win a bowl game, you salvage a little bit of the season. But it's, you know, certainly when we started out, our goal wasn't to be 5-5 right now.
Doing what you've been doing, does this make you think at all? I mean, I know every year you look at what you're doing, but do you know there's already things that you want to do differently or look at really particularly?
I think you do that every year. You sit back when it's over and evaluate and see where you are and what you need to get better at. There's a lot of things we can get better at.
Coach, what is the message to the guys this week?
That, you know, it's like I told them on Monday, this is a game that you'll remember for a long time, especially if you win. It's really important to, I think, our players, to our alumni, the people in general, that you play well, and you know, you got to go out and play with some intensity and try to play your best game. I mean, that's what these games are about. This should be why you come to play college football. I mean, games like this. If somebody's got to fire you up for this one, then you probably ought to quit. You shouldn't be playing.
Talk about how you want to always flush a bad game.
Is it easier to flush a loss like last week because you have the rivalry game this week?
I don't know. I mean, I think that for me personally, I don't remember the wins very long. I mean, they're gone. the losses, the ones that hang with me. Now, when the game starts on Saturday, that won't be in my mind. But I'm talking about, I don't know that you can. You know, I talk to our team every Monday. You have to flush last week's game because you're getting ready for this game. Just because it's Georgia, I don't know if it changes. You know, I can, in my mind, I got a pretty good recollection of every game I've lost. You know, and I couldn't tell you about half the ones we won.
Is it kind of a clean slate for the players maybe?
Well, it's a clean slate every week. I mean, it's you put the thing, you know, you go over the film on Monday, and whether you win or lose, you're into another game plan. You're into the next week, so you have to move forward.
You have a large group of seniors playing their last game at home this weekend. What have you seen from that group in their years here at Tech?
Well, I mean, they've had some. It's been up and down. Like we said, they were a part of that 15 team that I'd never been a part of anything like that with so many guys getting hurt. And then we came back last year, so they were. If you go 14, they won the Orange Bowl, won 11 games. 15, they were a part of that crazy season. Last year we got back and won 9 games in a bowl game, and then this year we're sitting at 5-5. So they've seen a little all of it. You know, with a win on Saturday, these seniors could go out 3 for 4 in that game, which is pretty good for here.
What do you see? Two-part question. What do you see out of this Georgia team offensively and defensively that's going to cause problems for you?
Well, I think defensively, just athleticism and their size. I mean, you know, they do a good job. They've got a good scheme. They understand it, and they know what they're doing on defense. They're well coached, and they also got some really good players. So that's the big thing. They're physical and size, and offensively, they've kind of gotten back more to an identity of pound you and playing physical and run the ball. And they've got really good backs, and you know, their offensive line is much better than a year ago, I think. And so they're pretty good at their craft, and that's why I say, you know, everybody can say, well, you got to stop the run. Well, you can say it, but you still got to do it, and not very many people have been able to.
I know Matthews decided to graduate. Can you just talk about it? It's kind of a weird situation for him. He went in kind of projected star, had that injury, and then it's just been kind of a really tough year for him. Can you just kind of talk about how he's handled that?
Well, you know, Matthew's a great kid or great person. He's not a kid. He's very mature. And when he hurt the same foot again, he came in and talked. He already has his degree and has some opportunities, and it was like, you know, we talked, he may want to walk with his grandkids. You know, it's like sometimes you have to deem it's time to quit, and he's mature enough and sees that. And, you know, he'll be very successful with whatever he does because he's got that type of personality and that type of drive about him. But I couldn't say, you know, I can't say enough good things about him. He's always accepted his role, always been a team player, been a real positive guy. I mean, he's been a real pleasure to have in the program.
Every year, it seems like the games are pretty close with Georgia, and they've kind of come down to something interesting at the end of the game, or maybe somebody not being able to get stops or whatever. Kind of, what do you chalk up to the reason why you've had so much success compared to your predecessors against them, and kind of why the series has kind of gone the way it has with the road team winning?
Well, I mean, they've been, other than the one year here that they were really good. I can't remember whether that was 12 or what year it was. The games have been pretty close. I think that's kind of indicative of a rivalry game. I couldn't tell you why. I mean, other than it's a rivalry game and both teams want to play, and it's a big deal. I think historically, if you look at most of the games since we've been here, have been close. we haven't played in a lot of blowout games. You know, last Saturday was kind of different than most of the games we play. Even when we've lost, they've been, you know, 1-score or 2-score games, and you usually had a chance. So this game has been kind of that way, you know, for at least 8 of the 9 years anyway.